Get ready for your daily dose of marketing strategies and tactics from entrepreneurs with the guile and experience to help you find success in any marketing capacity. You're listening to Marketing School with your instructors, Neil Patel and Eric Su.
Welcome to another episode of Marketing School. I'm Eric Su.
And I'm Neil Patel.
And today we're going to talk about simple marketing tips that we would give our younger selves. But before we do, Happy New Year. Welcome to 2018. And Neil, because it's a new year, I'm going to let you kick it off.
I'm like, you usually kick it off. That makes it so much easier for me. All right. So tip number one. When I first started as a marketer, I would always think tactics. Oh, how do I rank number one on Google for this term? Or how do I get more email subscribers? Everything was tactic-based, and I never thought about building a brand. And sure, over time, I've built a brand, but a lot of it was on accident. It's not like I'm this genius marketer, and it's more so I've just learned from experiences. And one of the biggest things that I learned is brands are worth an arm and a leg. Always build a brand. To give you an example of this, Kim Kardashian, she ends up building a brand. She launches a perfume line. Boom, within the first day, over $10 million in sales. Sells out, right? That's the power of brand building. And it's not just her. I built a small brand. Gary Vaynerchuk has built a bigger brand than me. Seth Godin has an amazing brand. Tai Lopez, right? The list keeps going on and on. Whether you like a brand or not, the bigger it is, typically the more powerful it is. For example, Dan Bilzerian, he's known as a playboy. Doesn't go with most companies. Probably can't work with him, right? But the brand he's built has a specific segment, and yes, he can monetize it. The question is, does he want to?
Yeah. So even you're thinking about the Gary V's of the world, all these bigger brands. It doesn't mean that you can't become a micro influencer, right? So you can definitely get there. And in many cases, there's a company that I send a lot of leads to called Unity Influence, and their main thing is compiling these micro influencers because they can make a big impact when it comes to conversion and driving wins for your business. But in terms of kind of simple tips or simple advice that I'd give to myself, it's very similar, right? Like the early days I remember when I first started doing SEO, the site that I created was a site called Light Show Videos, right? Because I was into music festivals back in the day. And, I'll just be focused on rankings all the time. I'd be checking my rankings every single day. I would feel really proud when I got to a number one ranking for a keyword that was not really competitive at all. And then I remember when I tried to sell the site to someone and then he offered me $50, like that, those were the kind of results I was getting in the beginning, right? I was like, I want to try all this new stuff, right? I want to look at the black hat forums like Wicked Fire, right? Or all these other things just to learn all the things. All these little tactics where, if I thought that if I knew more tactics than other people, I would, have a much bigger advantage. But, when you think about the long game, it's about building that, like Neil mentioned, you build that brand with people, you build that kind of trust with people, like the fact that you're listening to us on this podcast right now is amazing, right? Because we're able to scale kind of our voices and kind of our expertise to you, and you decide what you want to do with it. You either you like us or you hate us, right? And now it's become the older we get, we're like, okay, let's forget about the ego. It's not about the rankings all the time. It's not about traffic all the time. It's about how much reach can we get for the long term, and how much how can we make that into real life relationships and make that into other opportunities that otherwise we wouldn't have seen, right? So that's what I would say. I mean, I think, in addition to building a brand, I would just say, man, like, just stick with it and just be patient, right? It's you played the long game. We talked about it a couple episodes ago. It just takes time. Like, I have no doubt in my mind that whatever, one of my friends trying to do, as long as he sticks with like his e-commerce business, no doubt he's going to hit his goals as long as he sticks with it, right? I remember talking to a mentor of mine who is who's the ex-president of the speaker company JBL, and he's like, Eric, look at my age right now. I'm 74, 75. Like, it just takes time. I have no doubt in my mind you're gonna hit whatever goals you want to hit. You just got to stay focused and you got to stay patient.
Yeah, and focus is a big one. I remember when I started off in marketing, I tried doing everything, and not just everything in all channels, and which is worth it in the long run, but I tried doing everything on multiple sites. You can't end up doing marketing on a B2B site, B2C site, and an e-commerce site, whatever the niches are. Pick one and stick with it. A buddy of mine, Andy Liu, he sold a few companies. One was to Aquanative, the other one was to Vizio. He taught me something that was really interesting. B2B guys tend to be great at B2B, and B2C guys tend to be great at B2C. So if you figure that you're a consumer type of person, stick with consumer-based marketing. If you're a B2B type of guy, stick with B2B. Don't go back and forth, and specialize your marketing efforts in one specific segment. You're much more valuable versus if you want to be a marketer who's amazing at all customer segments.
I think it was Tony Robbins that said that, staying within kind of your circle of expertise. Let's say, for example, you are, you're known for marketing, right? Like Neil is. Well, it doesn't make sense for Neil to go start something around, let's say, selling Barbie toys online, right? You want to stick within kind of what he knows. So, for example, Neil has this big kind of loyal marketing following right now. So, what would make sense? Okay, marketing services, right? Maybe new marketing tools to add on. Just continuing to serve that audience and build upon that. That is something that compounds very easily versus trying to do all these different things like, oh, let's go do. So, one mistake I made in the past was, oh, let's go try to do, this other business that I really have no expertise in, like senior living, for example, right? Whereas now it's just like, okay, I'm going to stay within my circle of understanding and then build upon that. We're doing this content marketing around marketing, right? This podcast, or, the other podcast I have is more focused around entrepreneurship, but also marketing at the same time. So why not just stay within what you know and build on that? So I think Tony Robbins, I can't remember the post exactly, but someone that's in Hollywood should just probably stay within that circle of expertise instead of trying to branch out and do all these other things. A good example of this is The Prophet. I saw an episode on, I think it was Molly Potter or something, or Mary Potter. This was in this season. I think it was episode 4, or maybe it's like season 8 or something. But it was this Hollywood star that, she tried to start this, basically it's a brick-and-mortar store where she sells stuff, right, to consumers. And that company is just totally not doing well right now. It's all over the place. Looks like it's going to go down. Marcus Lemonis, who's the star of the show, ended up not doing a deal. He ended up stepping away from it. It's because that girl was not within kind of what she understood, and she tried to branch out into these other areas. So that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it for this episode. And for our daily giveaway, go to singlegrain.com/giveaway.
And we'll see you tomorrow.
This session of Marketing School has come to a close. Be sure to subscribe for more daily marketing strategies and tactics to help you find the success you've always dreamed of. And don't forget to rate and review so we can continue to bring you the best daily content possible. We'll see you in class tomorrow, right here on Marketing School.